Granit Xhaka needs to be stripped of the Arsenal captaincy tonight. Tonight. Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 2. Here's your match review. Boy. I'm going to go straight into it. No dilly-dally. Granit Xhaka. What up to? What up to, boy? Listen, this is disgraceful. All right, cool. So, before we get into the match, I'm getting straight into it. Arsenal are drawing 2-2 with Crystal Palace at this moment in time. In fact, let's take it back a step. Granit Xhaka didn't have a poor game today. He was all right. He was all right at best. Like, he didn't have a great game, he didn't have a poor game. In fact, that pretty much sums up his season. He hasn't been awful this season. He's made a few dumb challenges, and he's had a few decent games. He's not pulled up any strings. He's not got a man of the match once from anyone, not just me, from anyone. He's not been great. He's had a couple of good chances to score a couple goals from that long range. Hasn't gone in. Cool. But you see today, done. I'm absolutely done. I guess he was taken off to change the style of play. Guess you couldn't really take off anyone else if you're trying to go with an attacking lineup. You got to sacrifice somebody, and Xhaka was the one to be sacrificed. He did kind of let McCarthy run down the wing and put the ball in. Didn't really stop the cross for a Crystal Palace goal. But what happened after that is absolutely disgraceful. So, let's just take it. Xhaka's about to get substituted in a match where there's still a lot of time left. There must have been about 20 or so minutes to go in the game. A lot of time to get a goal. You're being substituted because you're a defensive-minded player, and we're bringing on an attacking-minded player because it seems that Palace weren't really attacking us as much, and we needed someone to just help us go forward. So a young kid comes on, Bakary Saka. Bukayo Saka. And Xhaka comes off. And he literally looks to the fans as they're basically ironically cheering him. And he literally starts to slow down. I'm thinking, Xhaka, we're 2-2, get off the pitch, let's get someone on, let's try and get a goal to win this match. We're ironically cheering, and I think the cheering is harsh. It happened to him, I guess it's more of jeering really. It happened to him in the Sheffield United game as well, came off to an applause. Of course, that was an away game, so he didn't really hear it as much. Obviously, today's at Emirates, so all of the fans, literally from every part of the stadium is jeering him, basically, and saying Emery's made the right choice to sacrifice him to get off the pitch. Cool. Harsh? Yeah. You're a footballer. You got to deal with them things. You know, sometimes you get called a scapegoat. Last year it was Mustafi. He spoke about it this year. You come out and speak about it this year. I'm cool with Mustafi saying that he was untreated fairly. I think he was untreated fairly at times. But he also had some poor games. And sometimes when you have these poor games and you're being scapegoated, you have to just suck it up on the chin. You were made captain by Emery, and your teammates had chosen you to be captain. And you need to act more like a captain. What he done today was disgraceful, because what he done is he slowed down. He put his hand to the ear to say, what are you lot saying? Then he tells the fans to fuck off. Are you dumb? Are you actually stupid? Whilst you're wearing Arsenal shirt, you're telling 60,000 man to fuck off because you haven't had a great game, and the Arsenal fans are happy that you're coming off. And then they start to boo you. Yes, rightly. At that point when Arsenal started to boo him, that was right, because you should not be reacting like that. You should not be putting your hand to your ears, saying, come on, what more have you got for me? Telling them to fuck off. You're not out on the streets. This isn't five-a-side Samba football where you're just annoyed at a couple of fans. This is the club that's paying you money. The fans are paying money to come and watch you play football, and your performance hasn't been great. Tough. Suck it up. You run off the pitch, you give the captain armband to whoever, and you get off that pitch. And he got off the pitch, shook Saka's hand, shook Emery's hand, took off his jump shirt and walked down the tunnel. You couldn't even have the balls to sit on the bench and watch your team try to get a goal. You're the captain of Arsenal Football Club and you walk down that tunnel like to say you got an injury. Are you actually mad? Granit Xhaka, you need to be stripped of the captaincy tonight. By the time this video is out, by the time you play our next game in the cup, you need to be out of the captaincy at Arsenal. I'm sorry, it's disgraceful. Bigger man than you have been stripped of the captaincy in other clubs for smaller things than that. I'm sorry, you've gone too far now, Xhaka. And to be fair, you're on your last lineup having a future at Arsenal Football Club after that. That was just absolutely disgraceful. Anyway, there was a football match today. Arsenal v Palace. And now I'm going to get even more vexed when I talk about this actual game. Started quite well, to be fair. Good lineup from Emery, I felt. Pepe, Lacazette and Aubameyang, all three up top. Danny Ceballos, kind of playing number 10. I thought it was going to be number 10. It seemed a little bit more like a 4-3-3 if you look at the sort of the positional play, especially in that first half. You had Xhaka, Guendouzi in the middle, Xhaka kind of on the right, and Ceballos on the left of the three. And then Tierney comes in for his first start in the Premier League. And then the rest stays the same. We go pretty much 2-0 up after two corners from Pepe. One, Xhaka gets a header to. Socrates, good finish. And then the other, I think Lacazette got his head to it. And David Luiz finished that one. Bro, I'm honest to you, lot. I'm honest to you. At that point, I literally looked at my watch. See, 10 minutes ago, and I thought, all right, Liverpool in the cup this week. Let's rest up. You know what I mean? Let's go for it. See if we can knock out the European champions in the cup. Rest up, couple, man. Cool. But Arsenal are Arsenal, and I should never have let that even cross my mind. I should never let it cross my mind because all of a sudden, Palace that are coming at us. Zaha, very skillful, ran at Chambers. Chambers stuck a foot out. Zaha goes over it. I initially thought penalty. Martin Atkinson books him for diving. Of course, as it's a penalty kick, he gets checked by VAR. And VAR overturned the decision. Something that they don't do, but all of a sudden have started doing this week, apparently. And they've given a penalty to Palace. I actually have no qualms with that. As I said, I thought it was a penalty initially. Looking back, it probably was. Chambers sticks out a foot. It's kind of... When you're playing against Zaha, and I'm not saying this like it's easy, but when you're playing against someone like Zaha, you're so easy to try and want to put the foot out, but you have to just hold your ground and let him run. You have to just not take him down in the box. You have to either take him outside or you have to just stand him up, because sticking out a lazy foot, boy, it's just not good. It's not good enough. And that was poor from Chambers, and he gave away the penalty. Milivojevic pops in the penalty, and I just got to say one thing. Leno has been at Arsenal for a year and a half now. The man hasn't saved one penalty. Going on like he's Petr Cech. 11 penalties he's faced for Arsenal. Every single one of them popped past him. And he got nowhere near every single one. Every single time he gets sent the wrong way. Something needs to happen with these goalkeeping coaches, because the man can't save one. I knew as soon as the penalty was given, it was a goal. Milivojevic cash scores penalty past us every single week we play Palace, man. Ciao. Anyway, that happens. Cool, we're going to half-time at 2-1. And you think, right, Emery, we need to get these boys fired up. I know you're not going to make any changes because we're winning, but at least get a little bit of motivation going on. We need Xhaka, Pepe, and Aubameyang to step up the game. What happens in the second half? More pressure comes up to us. We start conceding chances. And as I said, they're ready for that goal. Xhaka lets McCarthy go too easily to get the cross in. More worried about getting caught for a handball by putting his hands behind his back than actually trying to defend the ball coming in the box. And then there's about 4 Arsenal men in the box. And Jordan Ayew just sneaks in behind all of them and puts it into an empty net, really, with Leno sort of coming back at him. Then we had the fiasco with Xhaka. Absolute fiasco. I'm not going to go back into it. And again, all you need to know is that Xhaka, I don't want to see him as a captain of my club anymore. You'd be lucky for me to even want to name you in my starting lineup going forward this season. And then after this idiot boy came off, we actually started playing well. Xhaka came on in a number 10. Guendouzi and Ceballos looked quite comfortable with us as a 2 actually, as we went 4-2-3-1. And we had chances, nothing major. Lacazette had a couple half chances. Nothing really given. And then it was a corner again. And I have to say, Pepe's corner deliveries have been brilliant this season. We got 2 goals in the first half from his corner. And the third goal we scored from a corner in the second half as well. The reason why I say we scored is because there's nothing flipping wrong with that corner when he put it in the back of the net. We literally had a corner kick. Ball came in. Chambers is battling for a ball with, I think it was Milivojevic. Milivojevic actually turns around and pushes him. If you watch the start of the corner, he turns around and pushes him. Chambers sort of, as the ball drops, Chambers kind of tries to fight for the ball with Milivojevic. Both of them just like try to stick a foot out to get the ball. Obviously, Chambers trying to get into the net. There's minimal contact on Milivojevic. He just drops to the floor. Cahill comes in the back of Chambers. Chambers drops to the floor. Cahill falls on top of him. Ball drops to Socrates. And Socrates bangs in another goal. I'm thinking, all right, cool. 3-2, game done. 2 minutes later, everyone's back. Kickoff's back to taken. Martin Atkinson says, hold up a second. VAR looking at it. And of course, stupid-ass VAR system rules it out. And I was done with VAR from before the season started. I'm even more done with it now when you get a stupid decision like that being overturned. What was the point of that? Are they trying to make a statement to say you can't do nothing in the box? Because that should have been, if that's the case, that should have been a foul to Palace and a penalty for Arsenal, because literally it's 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other. There's minimal contact from Chambers, and Chambers literally gets pushed. If Chambers goes on the floor when Milivojevic pushes him at the start of that corner, he gets a penalty kick. It's just stupid, man. VAR, I don't know what they're doing over there, man, in Stockley Park, because some horrendous decisions, and this goes down again as another poor decision from VAR. Sort out your rubbish, man. This is awful. Awful system. Awful refereeing from the system, from the referees today. But as a team, we weren't good enough today. And I'm openly admit that. We weren't good enough. We weren't at our best. Pepe, Aubameyang and Lacazette. Not really been working out too tough as a free. And I think Emery needs to start looking at this sooner rather than later, because people are starting to turn on Emery, and Emery needs to start getting things right. Aubameyang on the left wing, as it stands, it's not really working. It's not working. Aubameyang was poor today. He had 1 shot, didn't barely touch the ball. As a striker, you get let off for that because, you know, chances don't always provide for you. But when you're playing on the left wing, you kind of have to get involved with the play and make things happen. He wasn't doing that. And he's not natural left wing. He shouldn't really need to be doing that. The problem is, we've got 3 players who are good enough to start for Arsenal in Pepe, Laka and Aubameyang. Now, I don't really think Laka should have started today because he didn't look great on Thursday. And today, you could tell he wasn't really at the races as normal Laka. And Emery has to start thinking, does he go with a diamond maybe with Pepe and Laka and Orbs up top with Pepe in number 10. Pepe has played number 10 for Lille last season as well. Does he drop one of the two? And obviously it's going to have to be Laka over Orbs, and maybe play Saka or Ceballos left wing. I don't know. What I've got to say is something needs to change over there if we're going to start seeing the best out of Aubameyang. Yeah, Pepe didn't have the greatest game, but can't knock him. 3 great balls in for the corners, giving us a chance to go ahead. So can't really knock him on that. And yeah, that pretty much sums up a poor day at the office. 2 points dropped again. Knowing that teams around us are dropping points, but we're still dropping points. Leicester gone and won 9-0, and we're still dropping points. We've got Liverpool in the cup to come, and we've got Wolves next week. So we'll see what Arsenal team comes out then. Wonder whether Xhaka will play in that. We'll have to wait and see. I've got to end it on this. Free my boy Mesut. You get me? Man like Mesut Ozil. Free him. Soon home. Man, them be waiting for you. You get me? Like, just bang on your doors, my G. Soon home. In a bit, guys.